President Donald Trump has a very good relationship with Chinese president, and according to Trump, he says that he is going to China to have a meeting with Xi Jinping concerning the crisis between the US and the Iran. Remember, this crisis between the US and the Iran is affecting China because most of the oil China is getting comes from the Strait of Hormuz, and that Strait of Hormuz is in Iran. So as this crisis continues, China is no longer getting the oil or gas they used to get from Iran, and this is affecting China profusely. Now Trump says that he is going to China to have a meeting with their president so that they will discuss for more peace to reign. So make sure you watch this video from the beginning to the very end to know more about what President Donald Trump said. But before we proceed, follow me on this channel by subscribing, turn on the bell so that anytime I publish the next video, you will get notification. I really appreciate your time. Watch this.
I have a great relationship with President Xi, and I think you can see that with the fact that in Hormuz, they get a big percentage, 40% of their oil from Hormuz. A discussion will be a little bit about energy and about the very beautiful country of Iran.
President Trump previewing his discussions with his Chinese counterpart later this week in Beijing. Let's get some thoughts tonight from Fox News chief political analyst Brett Hume. Brett, good to be with you. So the president said that about 40% of China's oil comes through the Strait of Hormuz. About 10% of that comes from Iran. 30% comes from other countries in the Gulf region. So China does have a vested interest in getting this strait open and keeping it open.
I think that's right, John. It does. But China is said to have considerable stockpiles of oil on hand. And it may now feel that the president is in a jam. And it's a good question whether Xi Jinping, despite the president's claims about their great relationship, will be in any frame of mind to want to help the president out here. The president obviously would love that, and you know he loves to talk about how good his relationship is. But I have my doubts as to whether he's going to get much help from Xi Jinping at this stage. I think the president hoped that this would all be behind him, and he would have a triumph to point to in his discussions with Xi Jinping. So I think it's going to be a good question here, what he can get.
Yes, because folks at home remember the president was supposed to go to Beijing to meet with Xi last month, but he postponed that because of the conflict with Iran. And I think you're right that the president hoped that this was all going to be over. But some folks, including former Marine General Arnold Punaro, think that Xi Jinping just might be able to play some sort of positive role in finding a way to a peace deal, maybe by leaning on Iran a little bit. This is what he said.
They get about 10% of their oil from Iran, but they buy 80% of Iran's oil exports. So they can put pressure on Iran and say, look, if you don't do what's right and don't do something reasonable, we're going to move elsewhere.
To that point, China has been buying more oil and liquid natural gas from the United States. But you still don't think that Xi Jinping would be in a mood to help the president out here?
Well, I don't. Unlike the president, I don't think Xi Jinping is at all sentimental about the relationship between the two men. The president kind of seems to be at times. I think certainly it is clear that China could help if it wanted to, because it's been an ally of Iran, and Iran is at the point now where it has fewer and fewer allies, it seems, every day. They've alienated, nearly all the Gulf Arab states, the Gulf oil states, and they got to be looking around the world for friends. Russia is weakened and hasn't been able to do much of anything to help Iran, although it is an ally. So I think that if China decided to weigh in here, it could make a big difference.
Yeah.
The question I have is whether they're going to be in a mood to do it.
But the president's bringing with him a who's who of American business leaders. I mean, everybody from Tim Cook of Apple to Elon Musk. I think that's to, in some way, remind Xi Jinping, hey, there's a lot more currency for you, and having a good relationship with the United States than, helping support that rogue regime in Iran.
Yeah, I suspect, John, that may well be right, but I think those leaders, those those figures are probably more involved in the discussions about trade, which I think will be an important part of the agenda this time. We have some real issues with China on trade, continue to have them. You know, they cheat like crazy on patents and they try to steal our stuff and so on. I think the president would like to get some kind of help on that as well.
All right, well.
Now, the White House Principal Deputy Press Secretary Anna Kelly. Anna, welcome to you, and welcome back, I should say. Based on everything we're hearing from President Trump today, you know, and his disappointment in what Iran is bringing to the table, to come to a deal here. I'm looking at oil prices right now. They're back near $100 a barrel, up about $2.50 on the day. President Trump said again from the Oval Office today, he insists that this will drop like a rock once this all comes to an end. What is President Trump and what is the White House saying today about these high energy prices?
Well, look, the president has been incredibly clear-eyed with the American people since prior to the start of Operation Epic Fury about what could happen if Iran tried to subvert the free flow of energy in the Strait of Hormuz. And he's right. Once this long-term and short-term volatility presented by Iran is removed, then those oil prices, those gas prices are going to drop dramatically. But look, I know there's a lot of confusion, it seems, on the Iranian side and in the legacy media about the state of play right now with Iran. Let me be very clear. Iran has been incredibly decimated. Military, their navy is at the bottom of the ocean. Their ballistic missiles are destroyed. Their production facilities are demolished. Now they are being totally crippled economically by the weight of Operation Economic Fury. So the president is not in a rush. He has all the cards at his disposal because he knows that Iran is getting weaker and weaker by the day while the United States is getting stronger and stronger.
Oh, hey, Anna, it's John here. I was just talking to General Prunaro about that very fact that the president said that he thinks that they're eventually going to fold. He doesn't know how long it's going to take. But he does seem to be quite comfortable at the moment to allow the Iranian regime to just kind of twist in the wind as its economy crumbles because of the American blockade. But he did say that he may reopen up this idea of Project Freedom and do it on an enhanced basis that might involve some more military action.
Well, the president, of course, is never one to rule out options for himself. He always possesses all options on the table. And look, that's why it's incredibly important, I think, for the Iranian regime, again, to recognize the dismal reality of their situation. Karg Island is overflowing. They are losing $500 million every single day because they can't transport oil anymore. As your last guest said, that is the bulk of their economy. So it is in Iran's best interest to get incredibly serious because the United States is interested only in a deal that is going to protect the long-term security of our country, that is going to eliminate this nuclear threat for good, and to put America first, as this president always does.
Anna, just a short time ago, the White House gave us a heads up on some of those big CEOs that will be traveling with President Trump to China for his meeting with President Xi this week, among them Apple's Tim Cook and others. Can you give us a preview of this China trip?
Sure. Well, the president, of course, has a great relationship with President Xi, and I think we can expect more of what this president has done over the past year when past presidents, unfortunately, sold out American industries, shipped jobs overseas. This president, thankfully, put an end to that practice and rebalanced trade, rebalanced the economic order to put America first, just as he promised. So this, of course, will be a visit of tremendous symbolic significance. But as you said, there are a number of CEOs coming on this trip because this president never travels for symbolism alone. The American people can expect more good deals for our country, continued work on the U.S.-China Board of Trade, deals spanning the aerospace, energy, agriculture industries that ultimately will end that practice of shipping jobs overseas and selling out American workers in favor of policies and agreements that put America first and revitalize our economy here at home.
So, Anna, when I was talking to the president this morning, it was just before the Oval Office event, he kind of surprised me a little bit because he said, John, I just want to tell you, I'm very serious about this. So you can talk about this. I'm serious about beginning a process to make Venezuela the 51st state. Now, there's a rich history in this nation of taking territories and absorbing them into the United States. You know, Puerto Rico is one that people talk about. But this would be the first time, to my knowledge, that a sovereign country was ever invited to join the United States of America. How would that work?
Well, John, I won't get ahead of what the president was comfortable sharing with you as far as those plans go. But look, this is a president who is famous for never accepting the status quo. He is always considering a host of options to improve our country. And of course, Venezuela, now led by President Delcy Rodriguez, is working incredibly cooperatively with the United States. So I won't get ahead of any plans that the president may have to that effect. But look, this has been a tremendous success. The United States revitalizing our relationship with Venezuela and in turn improving the economic situation of both countries and our people.
Anna, before you go, we have seen the Wall Street Journal today reporting that President Trump is going to take action through an executive order to start to lower those beef prices. He's going to address the tariffs to increase imports. What can you tell us right now?
Well, I won't get ahead of the president on any actions he may take. But look, this president has been very clear about both standing up for our farmers in this country, taking a number of actions to end red tape, to improve export markets for our farmers, while simultaneously lowering prices for consumers. So I won't get ahead of any actions that the president may take to that effect. But this president will always stand for both our great farmers in our country who turned out for him in droves this past election, while simultaneously delivering on his promise to end this era of economic inflation under Joe Biden and reduce prices for all consumers across this country.
Oh, hey, Anna, just before we go, we saw a photo that Caroline Levitt put out last week of her and her new baby. How's she doing?
She's doing great, and we are all so excited for her and baby Viviana. So I know her family, her new beautiful family of 4, is doing quite well. But of course, we all miss her very dearly at the White House. And I know we are looking forward to her coming back just as much as you all are.
All right.
I hope you heard everything and you believe that as Donald Trump meet with Chinese presidents, it will yield a good result. A good result in the sense that maybe Trump will end this crisis with Iran and China will start getting their oil. Because if this continues and US keep blocking the Strait of Hormuz, I don't know how China will feel. That is my own opinion. What do you have to say? I really appreciate you for watching this video, and make sure that you hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on the bell. Anytime I publish the next video, you will get notification. See you in the next one, and bye.